For 18 years, one man's entire world was a single airport terminal. He couldn't leave, nobody could help him. And the saddest part? He stopped wanting to. Every morning he woke up under fluorescent lights. Not in a house, not in an apartment, not in a hotel room. An airport. Every night he went to sleep surrounded by strangers rushing toward destinations he would never reach. Thousands of people passed him every day. Families reunited. Business travelers boarded flights. Tourists began adventures. Children looked through giant windows at airplanes taking off into the sky. And in the middle of it all sat one man, waiting. At first he believed it would be temporary, a few days, a few weeks, maybe a month. Instead it became nearly 2 decades, 18 years, more than 6,500 days, a lifetime measured in departure boards and boarding calls. His name was Mehran Karimi Nasseri, and his story is one of the strangest and saddest human stories ever recorded, because what trapped him wasn't a prison, or a war, or even an airport. It was paperwork. A few missing documents changed the course of an entire life. To understand how this happened, we need to go back to the beginning. Mehran Karimi Nasseri was born in Iran in the 1940s. As a young man, he became interested in politics. During a period of unrest in Iran, he claimed he was expelled because of his political activities. Whether every detail of his story was accurate remains debated. But what isn't disputed is this. By the late 1970s, Nasseri was living as a refugee, and refugees face a challenge most people never think about. Without citizenship, without valid travel documents, without legal status, you can become trapped between countries, accepted by none, belonging nowhere. For years, Nasseri moved across Europe trying to build a stable life. He sought asylum, he completed paperwork, he searched for a place to finally call home. Then everything went wrong. Somewhere along the way, crucial documents were lost. According to his account, his refugee papers were stolen. Without them, proving who he was became incredibly difficult. And in the modern world, identity is everything. No documents, no entry, no travel, no future. In 1988, Nasseri arrived at Charles de Gaulle Airport outside Paris, one of Europe's busiest airports. He expected to continue his journey. Instead, he became stuck. Authorities wouldn't allow him to enter France normally. He couldn't legally travel elsewhere. Airlines couldn't transport him without proper documentation. Countries wouldn't admit him. And suddenly, he found himself trapped in a place designed for movement, an airport, a place where everyone is going somewhere except him. Imagine spending one night in an airport terminal. Most people find it uncomfortable. Now imagine spending a week, then a month, then a year, then 10 years, then 18. At first, airport staff assumed it would be resolved. Surely someone would help. Surely the paperwork could be fixed. Surely a government agency would find a solution. But bureaucracy moves slowly. And sometimes it doesn't move at all. Months became years. Years became a decade. The terminal became his home. Airport employees got to know him. Shop workers recognized him. Security personnel greeted him. Passengers came and went. Entire generations of workers retired and were replaced. Yet Nasseri remained. The airport evolved around him. He became part of the landscape. Like a permanent fixture. Like a statue nobody noticed anymore. His daily routine became remarkably consistent. He read newspapers. He wrote notes. He organized his possessions carefully. He washed in airport restrooms. He slept on benches. He watched endless waves of humanity pass by. Think about the psychology of that. Every day you witness thousands of people leaving, traveling, living, moving forward, and every day you remain. The airport became a strange version of the outside world. It contained restaurants, stores, conversations, people from every country imaginable. Yet it was also completely disconnected from normal life. No backyard, no neighborhood, no family dinner, no front door, no home. Over time, something even more tragic began happening. The airport stopped feeling temporary. It became normal. Journalists discovered his story. News organizations from around the world came to interview him. People were fascinated. How could someone live in an airport for years? Books were written. Documentaries were filmed. His story became internationally famous. Many people saw him as a symbol of stateless people, a symbol of bureaucracy gone wrong, a symbol of modern isolation. Then came an unexpected twist. Lawyers and officials eventually worked out potential solutions. Paths existed that could have allowed him to leave. And that's when something heartbreaking emerged. After spending so many years inside the terminal, Nasseri had changed. The airport had become his world, his routines, his identity, his reality. Leaving wasn't as simple as walking through a door. Because after nearly 2 decades, the outside world had become unfamiliar. The terminal felt safer than uncertainty. The prison had become home. By the early 2000s, Nasseri was no longer simply living in the airport. He was part of the airport, a living legend. Then, in 2006, everything changed. After 18 years in Terminal 1, Nasseri suffered health problems. He was hospitalized. For the first time in nearly 2 decades, he left the place that had defined his existence. The chapter that made him famous was over. Life outside the terminal proved difficult. How could it not? The world had transformed while he was inside. For years, he lived in shelters, hotels, and assisted accommodations around Paris. He was physically free. Yet freedom isn't always simple. In his later years, people described someone deeply attached to the airport that had once trapped him. It remained the central chapter of his life. Then came November 2022. Mehran Karimi Nasseri died. Remarkably, he died at Charles de Gaulle Airport, the same airport that had defined his story, the same airport where he had spent 18 years, the same airport that had once become his entire world. There's something almost impossible to process about that ending. A man who spent years trying to leave, then years unable to leave, only to ultimately return to the place that had shaped him more than anywhere else on earth. It's about loneliness, belonging, identity. And he remained, waiting beneath the departure boards, looking out at airplanes headed everywhere, except where he needed to go.